Listening Library presents Spider-Man Storybook Collection by Marvel Press. Narrated by MacLeod Andrews.
Cause for celebration. It was Ben Parker's birthday. Every year, Peter Parker noticed that his Aunt May got a little sad on her husband's birthday. Uncle Ben and Aunt May had raised Peter from a young age. Aunt May put down the stack of old photos of Uncle Ben she was studying and said, "Peter, I've got to go to the store, but when I get back, maybe we can patch up this house a little. Your Uncle Ben would never let things stay in such disrepair." Peter leaned down and said, "Aunt May, Uncle Ben isn't really gone. He is always with us. You'll see." Peter looked around the house and saw a leaky faucet, a hole in the wall left after some plumbing work, broken light bulbs up high on the ceiling, and even a big spot where the carpet was coming up. Yeesh, Peter thought. Aunt May is right. Uncle Ben would have fixed these things right away. Peter was determined to cheer up his aunt. As Aunt May left the house to run her errands, Peter realized he had his job cut out for him. These were no small chores. He wanted to prove Uncle Ben lived on, and he'd have to get to work. Peter Parker couldn't complete all the tasks alone, but Spider-Man could, as long as Spidey was done before Aunt May returned home. Spider-Man swung into action, heading to the hardware store to gather a few supplies. Swinging from building to building, Spider-Man would get back to Queens in no time. Once Spider-Man got back home, he went to work on the carpet. Using his webbing, Spider-Man stuck that loose corner down. Thwip, 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 thwip. Now it would stay down for good. It took his spider-sized strength to tighten the pipes and fix that leaky faucet. Well, his strength and a giant wrench. Spider-Man smiled under his mask. "Just call me DIY Spidey," he said to himself. It would have taken Peter Parker half an hour to get the ladder and fix all the light bulbs himself. But Spider-Man could walk on the ceiling. Presto changeo. But Spidey had to be careful not to leave any marks where he crawled. He thought it might be tough explaining to Aunt May why there were footprints on the ceiling. Spidey webbed the wall patch in place from the inside, and Peter Parker smoothed it from the outside. It looked like there had never been a hole at all. And just in time, too. Peter's spider sense began to tingle. Aunt May was about to come walking through the door. "Oh no, I hope my last surprise is ready for her," he said. When Aunt May opened the door, she was met by Peter holding a roast, Uncle Ben's favorite meal, to help celebrate Ben's life and how important he was to both of them. "Peter, you did all this for me?" asked Aunt May. "I did this for us," Peter said. "This was Uncle Ben's house, too, and you were right. He wouldn't have liked seeing it fall apart. So we fixed the place up, just like Uncle Ben taught me." Just then, Peter noticed that his Spider-Man gloves were still on his hands. "Oh, Peter, you always have your head in the clouds," Aunt May said. "And just who helped you do all this work? I didn't know you knew how to turn on the oven." Peter quickly hid his red Spidey gloves from his aunt. "Oh, just a friendly neighborhood handyman," Peter said. "Happy birthday, Uncle Ben." "Happy birthday, my dear Ben," Aunt May said with a smile. The two of them laughed and told stories about Ben Parker for the rest of the night. Science versus Science. Peter had stayed up all night prepping his science project, a steam-powered super potato launcher for the school science fair. He was sure he'd finally get the recognition he craved. Peter was exhausted, hardly able to keep his eyes open, but Aunt May spurred him on and took him to school. While setting up his project, Peter looked at the other students' work. He was really impressed with Cameron's electrosphere, Ben's erupting volcano, and Nate's combustible chemistry set. It wasn't going to be an easy win for any of them. Peter was introduced to the judges, one of whom was Dr. Kurt Connors, a famous professor who had paved the way for major breakthroughs in science. But Dr. Connors was best known not for his great scientific works, but because one of his experiments went wrong and turned him into the reptilian creature called the lizard. Fortunately, Dr. Connors was cured. He wouldn't change into the lizard again. Right? As the judges examined each project, one student's experiment went haywire, releasing a strange green gas. Peter tried to help, but he was already too late. Dr. Connors was transforming. Without a moment to lose, Peter ducked behind some solar panels. After a quick change, he leapt out as Spider-Man. "Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention?" Spider-Man called to the crowd. "Please exit in an orderly fashion. We're about to have a showdown. Thank you." As Dr. Connors fought the transformation, the crowd fled the building. He thought he had cured himself of the monster inside, but something in that green gas had unleashed the lizard. "Paging Doc Connors! Paging Doc Connors! Can you stop yourself from changing?" "Just calm down now," Spidey said, easing down his voice. "Think of all the great things you've done, the discoveries in science and genetics, all the hurt people you've helped. Remember, you're a good person." Spidey watched the scientist he admired struggle against the monster inside him, the monster trying to get out. "No one ever sees the good I've done, Spider-Man," Dr. Connors grunted back. "They only see the horror I can unleash." Spidey wanted to help, but the transformation, once triggered, couldn't be stopped. And where Dr. Connors once stood, there now stood the lizard. Spider-Man clenched his fists and prepared for the fight that was sure to come. With the giant reptile barreling toward him, Spidey leapt into the air, spinning his webs as fast as he could. He wasn't going to let the lizard trash all the science projects. His webs slung from his wrists, each shot finding its target and preventing the projects from shattering on the ground. The lizard roared. While the green reptile's mouth was wide open, Spidey spun a web right around those powerful jaws and pulled them shut. "Put a sock in it, Lizzie." Struggling to rip the web off his face, the lizard staggered back a step and shredded his jaws free. "You barely slowed me down," he hissed. "Why must you always get in my way?" "Gee, let me think about that," Spidey said. "Oh, I know. It's because you're always trying to ruin everybody's day." Spider-Man dropped back down to the gym floor. "Why don't we just skip the whole fighting part and get to you turning yourself in?" The lizard lunged at the webbed hero. "I'll take that as a no," Spider-Man said as he slid between the lizard's legs. As Spidey popped up behind the lizard, an idea came to him. The lizard's thick skin made him too tough to defeat by pushing him around. He wouldn't feel a thing. "It's science that turns you into the lizard, so let's fight science with science," Spidey said. Spider-Man used the projects around him. He swung Cameron's electrosphere at the lizard. "This should give you a good jolt," Spidey cried. Lightning lashed out from the electrosphere and struck his opponent. The lizard growled at the wall crawler as his massive scaly green tail swatted Ben's volcano. "All right," Spider-Man said. He slung a couple more webs, catching Ben's project and at the same time grabbing Peter's potato launcher and hurling Nate's combustible chemistry set through the air, raining flames down on the lizard. "Let's see how you like playing with fire." Spider-Man realized he needed to outsmart his adversary, not just throw things at him. The lizard put out the flames on his tough skin, hardly even noticing the heat. "Is that the best you can do, Spider-Man?" "Not by a long shot, Liz." The web slinger triggered Ben's volcano to erupt and aimed it directly at the lizard's eyes. While his ornery opponent was temporarily blinded, Spidey grabbed the science project that would put Lizard down for the count. Peter Parker's potato launcher. Boof, boof. Spidey launched a couple of sweet potatoes, but they weren't strong enough.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?